and welcome to the Taste 2020 virtual demonstration and tonight's function. Tonight, Chef Bryan with the ACF Central Florida chapter, better known as Pirate Chef. We're usually in our pirate gear, but tonight, with the hair and stuff like that, we're going to tone it down just a little bit, but we're here for a great cause. During my travels and journeys throughout Greece as a pirate, this is where I want to learn to make the dish that we're going to make tonight. So basically, we're going to start out with a simple dish, make a nice honey glazed syrup. So basically, we're starting with 2 cups of sugar into a saucepan. Basically, next we're going to add into 1 cup of honey. Again, whatever honey you want to have, if it's a local honey from an orchard that you got together from somebody or a sponsorship, so 1 cup of honey. Again, we're going to take 1/2 a lemon. Basically, it calls for 4 tablespoons of lemon juice, so basically it's a 1/2 a lemon. And get the juice off of that. Pour the juice in, 1/2 a cup. We can get that nice acid in there. And basically we're doing a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. So that goes in next. Basically we're going to take, I got 6 ounces or 3/4 cup of water. We're going to blend that in. So basically we're just going to take these simple components. We're going to mix these together. So while this is cooking, we're going to start going and gather our mise en place for the phyllo for the baklava. So we're going to put this on the stove over here. And do it on a medium heat. We're going to bring it to a full boil. And then we're going to let it cook for about 5-6 minutes, reduce down. So like 15 minutes, once we let it cool down, and then we'll start our next phase. So next, I'm going to go ahead and start my baklava. So give me 1 moment, and we'll be right back. And we're back. All right, so what we have, while the syrup is cooking over here, heating up into a syrup, basically I have a 1 pound of butter. Now you don't need to use it all, but I've done a 1 pound of butter. Did a reduction. I basically have a pastry brush that I use, has a handle that sits on the side. Now you can use Athens, or you can use whatever phyllo dough that you want. You can also order Athens online and have it fresh, so it's not frozen. It's even a better quality. But today we just use Athens because basically we're making this recipe so you can make it at home. So phyllo dough in the frozen pastry section at your grocery store, so ready to use. They basically come wrapped in a plastic container. Now, the key thing is this is keeping it moist and keeping it covered. When working with phyllo dough, if it sets out and dries out, it becomes very brittle very quickly. So one of the key things is when you're ready to use it, don't make any phone calls, interruptions, don't do the laundry or do the dishes. Once you start this process, you should follow it all the way through and you'll make a great baklava. So basically, what I'm doing is just taking a pan that I have here, butter on the bottom. So basically, I'm going to take my phyllo dough, unwrap it when it's in the plastic. So I'm going to move my butter right over here so where I have to work. So basically, we have 1 cup of chopped walnuts, and I put a little bit of sugar, about 1/4 cup of sugar, and I also put just a little dash of pecan. So basically, what we're looking for this here is a nice fine dice on the walnuts, so it's got a good crunch, so it goes through the baklava evenly as you go. So basically we're going to take, so don't be afraid of baklava. Yes, a fine pastry, and every reason they don't make baklava because it's like, oh, it's too hard to make. Well, it's really very simple once you get the hang of it. So basically do a long pan, the baklava paper, or dough, that looks like paper, and just take a sheet, just like this. And it goes right into the pan. And then you can just kind of arrange it, so if it's a little bit long, so I'm going to cut off a little bit of the baklava, of the phyllo dough. So just about that much, a little extra, so when I put it into the pan, it's all the right size, so it fits evenly. So basically, I'll just take my pastry brush and just basically like painting a picture. Brush the dough like that, and then basically I'm going to brush every sheet. That's important of putting a good baklava. So basically I'm going to take 10 sheets of phyllo dough and just lay it in there. Don't be afraid of it. So it's just nice baklava, little sheets. Brush it as you go. Just again, I use the butter. It's okay. Nothing wrong with butter in a pastry dish. And if it does break, it's not a big deal. Just take it back, put it right back into the tray. You can take that piece, just like I did there. It's like, with butter, it's just like glue. Right on top. Brush again. So I'll do this quite quickly here so we can get caught up a little bit. And this is kind of the repetitive part. Again, 10 sheets, what basically is what your target is. And next layer. They're soft and tender, but they're, yeah. But again, if it breaks, nice, easy to put back into the mold, not a problem whatsoever. Again, typical year. I mean, this is a different year. Normally, the great thing about the taste is when we're doing a party for $2,500, it's the best party you could have because we're doing it for a great cause, feeding the children, making sure no one goes hungry. So just checking my syrup over here. Turn that down just a hair. That's why it's nice to have it right here beside you, so you can kind of keep an eye on it so it doesn't boil all over. So it's come to a full boil. I've got it on just a slow simmer. And I'm going to do one more sheet, and then we're going to start putting the nuts on. You're going to chop walnuts, just a little sugar, again a little cinnamon. If you want to put some clove in there, it's fine as well. And some people also put a little honey in there. So basically, I'm just going to take the nuts, just like this, so it's evenly across, just shoot it across the top. Now the same thing, so the nuts are on there, so it's not going to sit as quite as nice. So basically you're just going to lay another top on there, just like that. And this will delicately just start to center, and just working across, a little love. Hold it with your two fingers over here. Okay. Now I'm going to give another sheet, and then we're going to do another layer of nuts. A lot of companies or a lot of places, they make their baklava. They do a lot of layers, and they just put a whole bunch of layers in the center. This one, you want an even crunch of the nuts throughout the entire baklava. So again, now this layer kind of builds a building block on the baklava. Tap a little butter, and then again, we're going to do a little nuts. And then, again, with the dough, and the syrup looks fantastic, we're going to go on that. Put them on here, just pull that off, no biggie. Again, if you had airflow or if you had a fan blowing on you, it'd be very bad because the dough tends to dry out very quickly. So just set a little time aside, and it's well worth the effort when you get this done. Another sheet. And this is the hardest part right here. I mean, it is this easy, and having it for a party is fantastic. Now you could change it up a little bit and put some chocolates in here or some other nuts or something else to make it a little different. But again, traditional baklava, we pretty much stay to the code of what we have. Brush it in there. Again, more nuts. And this does get a little powder. There is a flour on here, so it will be a little powdery on your hands, but no big deal. And I'm going to just grab a few more nuts. Like that. Again, another layer. So as as you can see, as we're coming along here, basically you got layers of the dough like this. We're building stacks nice and high. So this one you're eating, you have nuts throughout the entire package, entire baklava. And this looks just about right. We're going to toss those on there, so we've got just about what I want on those. And we're going to come back and do another sheet. Just like that, nice and simple. So we'll put these together, and I'm going to show you how to do the cut, and that will be another important part of the baklava. That'll probably be one of the hardest parts of doing is doing the cut. Making sure you're judging the right consistency of each piece that you as you go through. And don't worry about the butter. The butter is good. Give it a nice buttery taste. The cinnamon and the leaves will give it a nice crunch. And again, the taste again, you know, typically in a year, 1 to 4 children in Central Florida go hungry or are food insecure. Even with the pandemic and COVID-19, it's even more than that, you know. So, but again, the Taste has been doing this for over 30 years to help the community and help feed the children in the community. So, a great event. Do what you can, give where you can, call in. It's www.tastecentralflorida.org. That's CFL.org. All right, one more sheet here. You may stank too, but not a big deal. Now also, you can use the same dough. Take some chicken strudel or a taco meat, and you can do a little roll-ups, a little chicken strudel inside here, and just roll it up. So if you have a little extra, you don't want to build it. But I like a nice build on the baklava. So usually when you have one piece of baklava, it's going to be rich enough, but really one's enough. Two, you're brutal. It's going too far. Tap down the edges. Almost there, and then we're getting ready for the final part, one of the other important parts. So you got 10 sheets on the bottom, layers in between, and 10 sheets on top. Just like painting. And the last one. Make sure the last one's always nice. You want a nice full piece on that one. Don't use a broken piece in the last one, because the last one is the one that they're going to see when you cut, comes out of the oven and when you cut it. So brush it all the way around. All right, so we got plenty of butter on there, so it's going to make it nice and easy for me to cut. Now, if you want to do a few more layers, you can, but this is kind of doing this one here, but you could do a few more layers if you want. There's another roll, but again, it's entirely up to you. But here's the important part as we go through. Basically, just wiping the nuts off my hand. So you want to use a really good serrated knife, sharp. Basically, what you're going to do is go right down the center. Straight down the center, and then you're going to split that in two. So you're basically going to get 4 out of the pan. So basically you have 4 layers across just like that. Yep. So now the tricky part is decide on what size of piece that you want. So I usually start in the corner and I cut diagonal. So if a piece moves up there, it's not a big deal. So you get what I'm doing. So basically, we're doing little diamond cuts. When you see baklava, it's basically a diamond cut. I'm going to go ahead and cut this the rest of the way. So basically at this point, what we're gonna do is put it in the oven, 350 degrees, 35 to 40 minutes. We wanna make sure it's nice and crisp, and then we're gonna pull it back out. So I will see you in a few minutes, and we'll take a look at the baklava when it comes out of the oven. Hey, and we're back. All right, it's been about 35, 40 minutes. Again, the baklava's been in the oven. I just want to show you, this is the paper right here. This is the paper, well, you can't even pick it up. This is what happens if you leave it out. It becomes just like paper. So yeah, so if it leaves out, if you set it out, it'd be a nice confetti party, but let's not do that. We want a great dessert. So here we go. So again, coming out of the oven, I'm gonna take it out of the oven right now, so we're ready. Nice hot out of the oven, again, looking golden brown on top. It's starting to brown up right here, so you want to make sure it's nice and crisp because you want it to be crisp. If it's not done enough, the layers are going to be soggy. So again, we're going to take this here. We're going to take the syrup that we did. Look at the beautiful syrup. Simple syrup, a little cinnamon sugar in there. And basically, watch this. Wow, now that is going to be absolutely delicious. And then this little layer of love here will basically soak up into the baklava. It smells fantastic. The cinnamon, the sugar, the lemon in there. Again, the walnuts, and it will just cook down. And tomorrow, so usually let it set overnight to, let it set overnight so it sets up. And tomorrow, kind of recut the diamonds where you had. So we just happen to have one here. I did it a little bit earlier. So basically, we're just going to take a couple lemon zest here like this. And we're going to just dab with a little fresh bit of syrup. Again, there you have baklava from the Pirate Chefs, Central Florida Chefs Association, Chef Bryan Frick, and the chapter. Excellent eating. You're going to love this dish. It's fantastic. Baklava made by a pirate. So again, don't forget, our community is always stronger together. Please visit www.tastecfl.org and give the day. They're doing this for a couple of days, so please log on and do what you can. Again, unfortunately, we didn't get to enjoy the party that we usually do with some fantastic wines and unbelievable food from all the chefs in the area. But again, this is today, so that's what we're doing. So don't forget, 30 years they've been doing tastes, and then again, 1 out of 4 children are food secure, so we got to help them out. So do what you can. We appreciate it, and have a fantastic year. What's left? Always see you in the kitchen. Chef Bryan Frick, Central Florida Chefs. Have a great day. Thank you.